Hey everybody, it's Chance here with yet another episode of PARANORMASIGHT The Mermaid's Curse. We're still meeting the characters, because there are characters in the cover art that I still don't know yet. So maybe we'll meet them this time, who can say? Let's just go right into it. Did I miss something here, maybe? Maybe. Let's check this out. Yumeko Shiki and Soto Kiryu head to the coast of Futamigawara after receiving a report about a strange corpse found there. August 7th, 1980X, morning. Futami Town, Futamigawara coast.
Miss Shiki, there you are. Sorry for calling you all the way here.
Not at all. Thank you for bringing the case to our attention. I hear you've got an unusual corpse on your hands.
Well, forensics aren't here yet, so I honestly don't know whether it can even be called a corpse or not. But I do know that it'll cause a stir if anyone catches sight of it, so right now we're just trying to keep the busybodies away. I'm sure I'm glad it happened while you were still here, though. That with you being from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police and all.
Prefectural Police Detective, Masaru Ide. Where is our cadaver, then?
Still in the water over there where it was found. Feel free to go ahead and examine it.
Over there? I see. This is Futamigawara, the coastline just northeast of Ise City. It's a pretty popular location for tourists, so there are several beaches nearby as well, so a bunch of people are milling around. It certainly is an impressive sight. It's too bad we couldn't come here as simple tourists. Futamigawara is the name of the stretch of coastline along Futami Town, so named so that during the events of this story has been since merged with Ise City. In the Watari district of Mie Prefecture, as a part of Ise-shima National Park, it has been designated as a place of scenic beauty and considered one of the most scenic spots in Japan. The name Futamigawara is said to originate from a visit to the area by Yamatohime no Mikado. According to legend, the area's beauty caused her to look back upon it, leading her to Futami, look twice, becoming part of its name. Ise City, a city located in the central northern area of Shima Peninsula. The northern part of the city is on a plain directly facing Ise Bay, while the southern part is more on a mountainous land, surrounded by hills. Having long flourished as the town leading up to Torii Gate of Ise Shrine, it stands out as a particular popular tourist destination, even among the many attractions in Ise-shima area. The city sometimes is referred to as Shinto, meaning the city of the gods. Although best is known for Ise Shrine, many other temples and shrines can also be found within the city. I clicked the wrong button. The land overlooking Ise Bay is blessed with an abundance of beautiful scenery, including Mount Asama, which was included on their list of 100 famous Japanese scenic spots during the Showa era. Vision ability. What? Vision ability? What's that? Vision ability. The sound of the waves and the buzz from the onlookers fills the air around us. I suppose it's inevitable that the police being around would draw people's attention. I just hope it doesn't cause a commotion. Is there anything that stands out to you so far, Soto? I'd like to get a better grasp on the details before I say anything, I think. This is Soto Kiryu. He's worked with me as my assistant for a long time now, although he's usually making his living as a psychic detective. He's not officially with the police, but with my assignments being what they are, he has special permission to accompany me on investigations. Psychic detective. An independent psychic who makes his living as Japan's only psychic detective. Soto has no permanent residence, instead traveling throughout the country for training and resolving any metaphysical incidents he comes across, something which eventually leads him to gaining his current moniker within the industry. Although he has a small and taciturn cause Although he has a calm and taciturn personality and is obsessed with smart mind, he is surprisingly sensitive by nature. However, this trait does not extend mercy towards spirit and other phenomena, which he often ends up subduing by force. Primary spiritual abilities. Curses. The ability to use particular curses to inflict harm or otherwise negative effects on others. Effects range from forcibly binding target in place in order to dealing fatal wounds. The stronger the curse's effect, the greater the burden on the user. Shaga. The ability to see the face of a deceased individual from the remains, allowing for the recreation of their features via portrait sketch. Only a small piece of the deceased remains is necessary to use this ability. However, enough of the thoughts and desires of the dead individual must remain for it to be effective. The Feast of Shadows. The ability to create a domain in which the potency and range of certain types of spiritual abilities are increased. Only effective at night. Soto himself is able to create a domain up to 1 kilometer in range. Soto's family runs a small shrine dedicated to certain Onmyoji from the Sengoku period. This Onmyoji is said to be an ancestor of the Kiryu family, which may explain why their bloodline has produced many individuals with strong spirit sense over the years. Soto was born with the exceptional potent spirit sense even within his lineage, leading to his abilities catching the attention of legendary psychic Itensai Shiki when he was 8 years old. Itensai subsequently took him under his wing as his protege, and Soto underwent rigorous training under his watchful eye. Even now, he's always quick to respond when summoned to his mentor's wife, Yumeko Shiki, and often supports her during her work. He also has a keen interest in swords and is extremely knowledgeable about blades from all countries and eras. This is Masaru Ide, a detective from the local police. He's acting as my point of contact while I'm over here, as well as providing any support I need. I don't doubt that he's quite a troublesome assignment. There are quite a lot of things that need to be kept secret for one. But he's been very good at not prying into particulars while doing what needs to be done, occasional grumbling notwithstanding. Given what this case has ended up involving, though, those particulars may not end up remaining undisclosed for much longer. Prefectural Police Detective, 35 years old. An assistant inspector in the 1st Investigative Division of the Criminal Investigation Department of the Mie Prefectural Police, he often finds himself saddled with whatever troublesome tasks the department's way, something that makes him he makes sure to grumble about each time, but is a proficient detective in his own right, being diligent in his duties and having passed his promotion exam without difficulty. Although often said to have a somewhat unreadable expression, he is quite sociable and makes a point to attend all the department's drinking parties. Born and raised in Mie, Masaru never ventured beyond the bicycle commuting distance of his hometown, Sioux City, until the time came for him to attend university. With no particular plans for his future in mind, he took the employment exam for police officers, figuring that a local government job would at least be stable. He had no admiration for the police or any strong sense of duty or justice, but found the strict discipline of the police force suited his personality. He quietly married a fellow classmate from the police academy soon after graduating, and at home he takes on the role of doting father to his Sioux sons and daughter. If pressed to discuss his hobbies, they would include walking and combination puzzles. Strangely enough, he often appears to be walking nearby whenever incidents occurs, leading him to being the first on the scene even when off duty, something his colleagues frequently tease him about. Corpse. Mermaid? I see. So this is the corpse in question, is it? Unusual is certainly a word for it. It's all dried up now, almost like it's been mummified. But apart from that, it's pretty safe to say this is a mermaid, right? Let's take a closer look at it. The body's lower half is identical to a fish's tail. If this was a fish, it'd be a pretty huge one. It would seem that the fish's half of the body began from the shoulders downwards. All mermaids I've ever heard of had the fish half start from the waist down. If it is a fake, maybe whoever made it didn't do their research? Really? Several of the mermaids described in old Japanese legends have their face as the only human part, though. Seriously? I guess that makes me the one who didn't do the research then. As you can see, there's no doubt that it has a human head. That's the main reason we went ahead of treating it like a corpse. That makes sense. I can't imagine anyone would have seen a creature like this before, after all. If it really is a mermaid, wouldn't that be a pretty big discovery? It's not the sort of thing you'd be able to make public, that's for sure. I don't suppose we have any way of confirming their identity? Their identity? I mean, their teeth are still there, but I don't know how dental records look. Given the state of the body, it'd probably be difficult to confirm based on facial features, but we might have a chance using dental records. Though, that would depend on if they've ever had a dental exam. I see, that makes sense. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning toward it be some kind of fake of some kind. What do you think? It is true that many of the mermaid mummies discovered were ultimately found to have been man-made in origin. Mermaid mummy. Relics believed to have either embalmed or mummified remains of mermaids preserved in temples throughout Japan. Among them, several are said to bestow blessings upon such as eternal youth and longevity or sound health, and are treated as object of worship. In the 1970s, some garnered so much attention after being featured on TV that people traveled en masse to see them, prompting some temples and shrines to discontinue public viewings. Mermaid mummies have also been documented in other countries. In the 1800s, the exhibition of mermaid mummies as exotic curios became a widespread phenomenon across Europe and the United States. Although these mummies were originally believed to have been genuine, subsequent analysis has revealed fibers from materials such as wood and paper in their composition, exposing them to be man-made in origin. The quality of some mermaid mummies collected in Japan during the Edo period was particularly high, with several being widely circulated here, even especially in Europe. However, the revelation that many of these mermaids were man-made does not prove the existence of mermaids, and debate on this topic continues even today. You won't find me complaining if it is. No need to investigate a fake corpse, after all. Maybe that's being too optimistic, though. We'll just have to see about that, won't we? If this really is a corpse, I wonder when they died. I doubt their body would have ended up this desiccated if it had been in the sea this whole time. You think there's the possibility that they died, shriveled up into a mummy-like state, and then their body fell into the sea and got washed up here? It makes for quite the enigma, that's for sure. There is no sign of any external wounds. I can't see anything that would have caused their death, at least. When I first saw the expression, I thought they must have died in unbelievable agony. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like they almost look satisfied? It could be my imagination, though. Satisfied? At first glance, he seems to be the sort to find hard work troublesome, but he's proven himself to be quite the thoughtful individual. If that attitude of his is a deliberate ploy to get those he's dealing with to lower their guard, he's certainly not one to be underestimated. Think? We originally came to Mie from Tokyo to investigate another case. But with so many other incidents occurring, I can't help but get the sinking feeling something troublesome is about to happen. Detective Ide has been a huge help so far. He might be able to reveal some of our circumstances to him. Do we know what the situation was when the corpse was found? I just got here as well, so I'm not clear on the details myself. But from the sounds of it, a local civilian happened to cross it about an hour ago when we were passing by. They got us on the scene immediately, so no one else should have seen it. That's a relief. We don't want people working themselves into a frenzy over this. Where is that local now? We've got someone taking their statement in a nearby police box. I'll let you know when we get more info there. Please do. If we really do have a mermaid on our hands, do you think all those stories about becoming immortal from eating mermaid flesh are true? Oh, so you're curious about that too, Detective? Well, I don't know if I'd actually want to eat it, though. Living forever doesn't necessarily mean you'll be happy, you know? Besides, I can't say I find the thought of eating meat from this thing all that appealing. I see. I suppose that's a natural response. But there are plenty of people who would be interested in getting their hands on this corpse for that exact reason. I can see that. We might even have people fighting over it if it gets out. All the more of a reason to try and keep it hidden. He's had his gaze fixed upon the corpse ever since we got here. I suppose he's curious to know what led to its current state. Well, I think we have a decent grasp of the situation now. What's your opinion, Soto?
First of all, based on the state of the corpse, I think it's safe to say this is another case of the curse of the forsaken fish. Some of the residual curse energy is still lingering around the body.
Just as expected, then. I suppose that's no surprise.
Huh? What was that just now?
We'll try to explain our understanding of the case so far, Detective. I realize some of it might sound a bit absurd, but please bear with us. This corpse is neither a fake, nor could it be called a mermaid. It is the remains of a human, one transformed into a fish as a result of a curse.
What? A former human? And a curse, too. It's pretty hard to know what to say to that. One thing's for sure, that's not gonna fly in the case report by itself. Mind explaining a bit more for me?
Of course. Let's start with an explanation of our circumstances then. Talk about department. First, I suppose I should start with a brief explanation of the department I work for.
Wait, aren't you part of some secret department in the security division over in Tokyo? Are you sure you should be telling me something like that? I'm not gonna get caught up in any troublesome business if you do. Am I?
No need to worry. I doubt it will come to that. Probably. Our work is mostly kept a secret because it's somewhat of a pain to find people who will accept, let alone understand, the circumstances each time. But you've been very supportive so far, so I can't imagine it would be a problem.
Well, if you really insist. Go ahead, I guess.
As you say, my department is indeed part of the security division. Its proper name is the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Open files. Paranormal Affairs. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division Paranormal Affairs Bureau, it is most commonly referred to as Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know of its existence, even within the police force. As the name suggests, this unit specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomena. Since the existence of such happenings is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population, the Bureau's activities are conducted at the utmost secrecy. As there is currently only 5 members in the unit, including the chief, they utilize a network of psychic contacts across the country to assist with their cases. The current chief of Paranormal Affairs is a man named Kiru Nagagoshi. Although said to have been born of a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomena for generations, Kiru is an elusive figure. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that he has been off the target of curses. However, some theorize that it's in fact because Kiru is not actually a flesh and blood human, with some going so far as to question whether he really exists. His seat in the office is usually occupied by his familiar, a Niue, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Niue resembles an ordinary white thrush and acts as Kiru's messenger, leading to some bizarre scenes of police officers earnestly reporting their findings to a bird. The term Nakagoshi case serves as a code name to refer to any cases under investigation by Paranormal Affairs. Sorry, I want to see the underwater garden log. Purple sea urchin. Geez, the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, huh? Oh, if there really are cases of spiritual phenomena causing harm around the place, I guess it's not that hard to believe there'd be some sort of organization to deal with them within the police. Precisely. I'm glad you're so quick on that uptake. Well, after seeing that corpse over there, there's not much else I can do but believe it, you know? Oh, does that mean you have spirit sense? Or some other sorts of psychic power? Not to any notable degree, I'm afraid. As I mentioned, I'm primarily a housewife. If you ask me, I would rather sort this all out and get home to my husband as soon as possible.
Right.
Soto here was my husband's protege when he used to work as a psychic, though. He helps me out on any work I'm assigned to.
I'm responsible for handling any spiritual work that comes up, yes.
Spiritual work, huh? Hearing you say that like it's just another job makes me really feel like we're talking about another industry entirely. But if you really are just a housewife, Miss Shiki, why are you working for a special unit like this? I know it's none of my business, but if your husband is a psychic, wouldn't all of this be more of his line of work? True. Personally, I'd also rather our roles be reversed. But there are several reasons why that unfortunately can't be the case. I see. I don't really know your circumstances, but it sounds pretty tough. Either way, I should be good to put this down as a paranormal affairs case, right? That should be fine, yes. You can leave the rest to the investigation to us. We'll also handle the report. More specifically, Soto will. Really? Thanks! That's a great help. Not again. Paranormal affairs employee. Let's see, we got something new. Okay, this is all new, okay. A woman who balances her work as a housewife with her position as a full-time employee of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, a secret department within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police. Although the very image of a refined lady in appearance, she has a surprisingly free-spirited personality and tends to find that anything she has no interest in too bothersome to take seriously. Things that do catch her attention, on the other hand, often command all of it, and she will actively involve herself in looking into them. She utterly adores her husband, swooning in admiration whenever the topic turns to him. She is also viewed with affection by her co-workers, who call her ma'am. Out of the 5 current full-time employees of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, Yumiko alone lacks any particular metaphysical abilities, despite possessing a meager degree of spirit sense. Even though she was chosen to be a part of the Bureau's elite form unit for a particular reasons only known to a handful of people close to her. There was once one other member of the Bureau who had no paranormal powers to speak of, veteran police detective Tetsuo Tatsumi, and the two occasionally worked on investigations together. When dispatched on assignments now, she always pairs up with the freelance psychic detective Soto Kiryu, leaving all paranormal-related procedures and often her much-discussed paperwork to him. Yumiko's husband is also a psychic by the name of Itensai Shiki, and Soto is his cherished protege. I forget, because it's like, I know at the end, because like the twist with the first game, Seven Legends of Hanjo, was like, basically a lot of people ended up dying, and then you stopped the cause of it and they didn't end up dying, so I think like, Tetsuo was alive. Everyone's alive by the end of that game. But also, timeline-wise, things are a little funky. Psychic's spirit sense. The various abnormal occurrences attributed to the spirits of the dead are collectively referred to as spiritual phenomena. These can range from small particularities, such as being able to see things that shouldn't be there, hearing strange sounds, or feeling sudden unnatural chill, to a larger scale phenomena powerful enough to defy the laws of physics, potentially even triggering natural disasters. Harmful spirit phenomena that cause unwanted effects by interfering with nature or tampering with the human body or mind are called curses. Curses can themselves be divided into 2 categories: those that occur naturally, often arising from negative emotions such as deep resentment from the dead, and those that are intentionally created by someone with the spiritual abilities using an existing spirit or grudge. However, creating a curse is quite difficult, and there is a risk of the curse rebounding and causing harm to the creator instead. The more powerful the curse, the more stringent the conditions are required to use it. The ability to sense the energy of spirits and spiritual phenomena is known as spirit sense. The strength of this ability varies from person to person, and while it can be increased to a certain extent through training, it ultimately comes down to the individual's innate talent. According to those who have it, spirit sense is similar to a sense of smell. The lingering spiritual energy in an area can be detected by what feels like specialized sense organs, conveying information such as the relative strength and phenomenon and whether it is benevolent or malevolent in nature. Those with a particular potent spirit sense are also able to glean specific details from the energy, and even track it down to identify its origin. However, as spirit energy is unaffected by air movement, it is not possible to wind or to use wind to drive it away. The ability to seize spiritual phenomena is considered a psychic ability, further described below. Spiritual phenomena occur regardless of one's ability to perceive them. So many people that lack spirit sense are affected by such phenomena without any awareness of the cause. As spirit sense is impossible to quantify, comparing its strength between individuals is difficult. However, as tolerance to forcible exposure to spiritual phenomena is comparable to tolerance to alcohol, there are those who use this comparison when explaining it to others. Psychic ability is the special power to interact with or influence spirits. It covers a wide range of abilities, from simply being able to see the spirits to being able to directly control or exorcise them. It also includes the ability to intentionally induce spiritual phenomena in order to use specific skills such as peering into the future, capturing images with psychic photography, or searching for objects when dowsing. Individuals who possess such abilities are known as psychics. People who possess spirit sense but lack psychic ability are particularly susceptible to the influence of spiritual phenomena, whether they are aware of it or not, and such often fall victim to the supernatural disasters or disturbances. I'll let you handle the explanations, ma'am. Of course, leave it to me. In return, I'll be counting on you to handle the report. Oh, confound it. So, does that mean you came all the way to Mie because you knew something like this was going to happen? Oh, that's awfully perceptive of you, Detective. I suppose you can say that, yes. At the very least, the situation hasn't come as a huge surprise. If that's the case, was the body from the other day one of those cases too then? Unlocked new chapter. Yumiko Shiki, unidentified skeletons. It was indeed, yes. Seriously, that does sound like a pain to deal with. I bet our chief knew all about this when he assigned me to this case. If it lessens the burden, you have been a great help to us so far, Detective. I don't mind occult stuff, so I've been asking all these questions out of curiosity. But it's probably best I don't get too involved in all this paranormal business, right? You must have a good reason for keeping it under wraps, after all. I think that would be wise, yes. Talk about curses. Still, I never would have thought that there is a curse out there that can turn people into fish. And it only half worked, so the victim ended up looking like a mermaid. That's bound to cause some misunderstandings. The curse is originally meant to turn a person's whole body into that of a fish, you see. But the victim died before the transformation was complete, so it stopped before it could reach that point. The vast majority of mermaids discovered over the years are either man-made fakes or victims of the same curse. I see. To be honest, part of me was kind of excited when I saw what it looked like. I thought that it might mean there are really mermaids out there, you know? Exactly like the ones you hear about in stories. I'm afraid we can neither confirm nor deny things there. Oh, I get why you were asking about the corpse's identity now. It's because you realized it used to be a human, right? That's right. Very recently, too. The transformation likely happened yesterday, or even earlier today. What? That recently? Someone could really just end up in a state like that after just a day? They certainly could. Seriously? These curses sure are scary. I'll get forensics to take a look when they get here then. Please do. The investigator in question has worked with them on paranormal affairs cases before, so they shouldn't need any explanation. Oh, right. The case from yesterday. Great, that should save us some effort then. Cursed one day and a mummified corpse the next.
Sure is a scary world we live in.
You know, I sometimes find myself wondering if I have a bit of spirit sense as well. There have been times I've caught these strange things when walking down a road at night. And when I look into it later, I found the place I'd walked had been a site of an accident or the like. Oh, that might be the real deal then. It's definitely a possibility. I would advise not going too close to anything you see of that nature. It becomes easier for them to target you if they realize you're aware of them, you see. Jeez, what would happen then? I guess I'd end up possessed or something. There is that danger, yes. In the event you are possessed, you may find yourself afflicted by headaches, muscle stiffness, and hallucinations. Memory problems and impaired thinking are also not unheard of. Ugh, headaches and muscle stiffness definitely ring a bell. I sure hope it's not the work of some spirit. Oh, big yawn? Do people have their personalities taken over when possessed too? It may be possible with spirits who have had very close relationships to their targets, such as if they were siblings or a parent of a child. But you also never hear about people being taken over completely. The negative effects I just mentioned are primarily caused by the two parties not being in sync. That's good to know, I think. Even if someone were to successfully possess someone, they would only be able to presume them to behave in ways that wouldn't be unusual for the individual in question. Oh, are we gonna get a possession in this game? We'll see. I see, but in that case, there's no way of knowing whether you'd be behaving that way of your own will or not, right? Exactly. Hence the prevalence of cases where people don't even realize they're possessed. Huh. So that's how things work there. As far as I know, I haven't been having any problems like that, though, so I think I should be fine. Ma'am. What is it? Perhaps I should use my Shagan ability and see if it produces any results? Ah, that's an excellent idea. I almost forgot we had such a handy trick up our sleeve. Shagan? What does that do? Patience, detective. You'll see soon enough. Right. There. It's done. Oh, so it went well, did it? Well done, Soto. What's all this about, then? Soto can see the face of the deceased from a piece of their remains. However small, he can stretch their features based on what he saw. Ah, so that's how you get a sketch of the victim in that other case. An ability like that would be priceless if we could use it on the Force, you know? Well, I hear it doesn't always work, so it's unfortunately not foolproof. So, what did our victim look like? About that, I think it might be easier to see for yourself. Oh, that's Yuzu's mom. Wait, that means... is it? Is that... This face, it's Somekawa. Wait, Somekawa, you can't mean... Not sure. Yumiko Shiki arrives in Toba City, Mie Prefecture, to investigate the discovery of skeletal remains with her assistant, Soto Kiryu. Date unknown, August 1980X morning, Toba City, Ijuka Town. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found is a little ways offshore from this beach. You went ahead and started the investigation, I see. Thanks for that. Not at all. You clearing everything with local police meant that all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there's no doubt, signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident. Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. Alright then, let me hear the full report.
Understood.
Let's look around first. This is the town of Ijika in Toba City. The area is a historical place known for its ama divers. Oh, I know it well. It's also famous as a filming location of one of Japan's most well-known monster films.
I wouldn't know about that myself, man, but you seem unusually well-versed in that area.
Those old tokusatsu films are the best. You should watch them for yourself, Soto.
As you wish, I'll look into it.
Tokusatsu. No. Ijika Town is a fishing settlement located within Toba Beach on the eastern tip of Shima Peninsula. The area takes its name from Ijikajima, an island offshore of the region. It is said that the hollow in the center of the island was so reflective as to resemble a mirror, leading to Yamatohime no Mikoto, giving it its current name, which was written with the characters for stone and mirror. The Reyes coastline is a particularly beautiful sight, as it's known for a spot for watching the sunrise. It is also notable as a filming location of the first entry of one of Japan's most famous monster film series, and sees many visits from fans from the result. Toba City, a city located in the northeastern tip of the Shima Peninsula, and adjacent to Ise City and Shima City. Along the city itself is its administrative area, also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City was formerly known as the Shima Province. Its coastline features one of Japan's most notable Ria coasts and is renowned not only for its maritime marine industries, but also for its popularity as a tourist destination. Having originally sprung up as a castle town on the Toba domain, the years following the Meiji era saw Toba flourish as the center of the Shima region, with an abundance of marine products available in its waters. It is also famous for being home to the highest number of active ama divers in the region, in Japan. There are many house guests run by ama divers and fishermen along the shore, providing visitors of the area with an opportunity to enjoy fresh seafood. A diligent and earnest young man, his mentor, my husband, has nothing but praise of his skills, so he has my complete trust. I know I shouldn't rely on him too much, but he's so good at noticing the finer details that I often find myself doing so.
To begin, shall we review the details of the case?
Is it really necessary?
Summarizing may help us notice something we've missed.
Not a day goes past where I don't admire your diligence, Soto.
My thanks. I'll strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long, rod-like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. That was about 10 days ago.
So he fished it up completely by chance.
Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. They discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. All the remains were either severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old. As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skulls remained, so facial reconstruction was apparently not possible.
Hardly surprising in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial reconstruction, do we?
Indeed. I'll report my discoveries shortly.
You know, one possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me?
Please, go ahead.
I wonder if those skeletal remains could be victims of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago?
Regrettably, that is not the case.
Oh, darn it.
Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirmed 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time.
Oh, meaning they all didn't die at the same time?
Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back some 10 years before that, another 10 and another 10, and so on.
So roughly one body every 10 years.
Indeed. I imagine that any older remains may have simply decayed entirely.
Which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades.
It's surrounded by rock, and with minimal currents in the area, it's unlikely they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we'd have never known. In other words,
It's an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies. So this was no accident. Someone did this. I imagine quite some resentments must have piled up over the years. Indeed, but I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in the area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifesting, after all. Efficient as always. My thanks. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common. Go on. Each body bore a clean, precise cut, clearly severed. Severed? You're saying they were sliced through the bone? Exactly. Each was sliced through the bone, all with a clean cut as smooth as the last. Forensics noted that reproducing such a uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industry equipment, such precision would have been achievable decades ago. One possible explanation is that a master swordsman, wielding a razor's sharp katana, cleaved all of them in a single stroke. Well, yes, that would certainly explain it. But warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose. Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. As it turned out, there were traces of a curse of each of the severed points. It was just a matter of time until we found one. And so for the briefest moment, I glimpsed a curse echo that looked like a warrior in armor. A curse echo in armor? Yes, judging from the crest on the armor and given our location, that appeared to be a curse tied to the Heke. Right, the Heke. You are familiar with the Heke, I assume. Well... The Heke? I'm not too sure. The Heke were a branch of the Tyra clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From their base in Ise province, they expanded their influence, reaching great heights under the Taira no Kiyomori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Genji in what was known as the Genpei War. Ah, yes, of course, I knew that. The tale of the Heike preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Their resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome. Tammy, don't think about it. Indeed, you hear about it all over the place. I guess even by expert standards, it's quite the problem. Okay, abbreviated genealogy. Alright, the Heike were a part of the Ise Tara clan, which in itself was an Ise-based branch of the Taira clan, a prominent samurai family of the Heian period. Although the entire Ise Tara clan was greatly influential, Heike refers to the particularly prosperous lineages of Taira no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, and Taira no Kiyomori. Known as one of the most prominent samurai families of the Heian period, alongside the Minamoto clan, the Taira clan was originally based in the Kanto region. However, following Taira no Amasakudo's uprising against the central government in the year 935, and its suppression at the hands of the Taira no Sadamori, the latter's son, Koihara moved to Ise province, where he came to wield significant political power. This was the start of what would be known as the Ise Taira clan. 4 generations on Koihara, Taira no Masamori consolidated the family's influence in Ise. His successor, Tadamori, was granted permission to enter the imperial court in 1132, eventually attaining rank equal to that of nobility. The distinguished military exploits of Tadamori's son, Taira no Kiyomori, further led Kiyomori's promotion to the Daijo Daijin, Chancellor of the realm, the highest possible governmental rank, in 1167. In 1180, Kiyomori's daughter Noriko married into the imperial family, and his son ascended to the throne as emperor. enabling the Heike to consolidate their monopoly on a political authority. Thus, the Taira clan came to dominate the political landscape of the time. Such was their wealth and power that one member of the clan is said to have remarked that all those who did not belong in the Taira clan were to be considered of people of no position. However, this golden age of the Taira clan did not last long. Their arrogant rule and dictatorial grasp on power led to many turning against the Taira clan, and the stirring of rebellion soon came to a head, with several prominent figures joining forces in a bid to overthrow them. In the midst of the resulting years of warfare, Kiyomori died of illness in March 1181. Despite losing one of their key members, the Taira clan continued to struggle against their opponents, but to no avail. In 1185, they were finally defeated in the Battle of Dan no Ura, and many of its members, including Kiyomori's grandson, Emperor Antoku, who was still a child at the time, were lost beneath the waves of Dan no Ura, burdened with unfulfilled ambitions. It is said that the Kusanagi no Tsurugi sword, one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan, regarded since ancient times as a symbol of imperial authority, was also lost in the sea that day. In the Western Sea, the diving woman encountered the Heike clan in the depths of the water. After their defeat, the surviving members of the Taira clan, now disguised as fallen warriors, scattered across the country and lived out their days in hiding. Even to this day, legends of the Taira clan survivors persist in various regions across Japan. What's more, the katana that Curse Echo carried, I believe it may have been the famed blade of Nukemaru. Nukemaru? Yes, a blade passed down through the Heike once wielded by Taro no Tadamori. I see. It would seem that your love of swords has proved rather useful here. So what you're saying is that these skeletal remains were cut and killed by the powers of Tadamori's curse. I can't say it was Tadamori himself, but I am confident that it was a curse from someone within the Heike. At the very least, it offers any explanation for those mysteriously perfect cuts. But the body's being dumped every decade. Surely that can't be the curse too, can it? Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else. So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There's a perpetrator out there. Indeed. However, I can't imagine any psychic with enough power to wield such a curse would dispose of the bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a curse stone, and they are killing through its curse, then discarding the bodies. A curse stone? Think of it as a talisman that lets even those without spirit sense use the power of curses. They are created when intense resentment fuses with a suitable relic. That sounds dangerously convenient. There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear? Oh, now that you mention it, that somewhat rings a bell. A type of curse tool that allows even people without any spirit sense to wield curses. As long as the tool meets the above criteria, items of any shape or size may be referred to as curse stones. Many curse stones have conditions that must be fulfilled to use them, often based on the spiritual power and characteristics of the curse itself. If a curse stone has low spiritual power, it may be only possible to use it under specific circumstances, such as when influenced under the Feast of Shadows, a spell that heightens the potency of certain types of spiritual energy. So in short, whoever's behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Heike's curse. And they use it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping the body into the sea. Yes, that aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary. Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your shotgun, Soto? Yes, I did. Although it only worked for the most recent body, though. The one from 6 years ago. By viewing parts of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive. Here is a copy. I've already provided one to the police as well. Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset. Not always. There are times when the vision just doesn't come through. It's far from infallible. Besides, there are those who would simply speak directly with the victim's visit and could simply ask who did it. Even so, none of these methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. But as a lead in our investigation, it's more than enough. Excellent work. Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against some missing people from 6 years ago. But no matches were found. I love his little squiggly mouth. Darn, that would have made things much easier. Detective Ide is continuing the investigation. Ah, the detective with the local police. I've heard he's good, so let's hope he proves it. Toba seabed skeletons. A case which in multiple human skeletons were recovered by deep fissures in the Toba seabed. The initial estimate indicated that at least 5 bodies have been disposed there. The following information has not been available to the public. Victims' identity is unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed of at different times. The most recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of this individual obtained during Soto Kiryu's Shogun ability. The other remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back more than 30 years. Although the presence of older remains have also been confirmed, they have been completely decayed, and it's impossible to tell how old they are. It is unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it is thought that someone had been discarding them there every few years. Each skeleton shows signs of a clear, precise cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of curse were also detected around the severed sections. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. Wrong button. Say, Soto, that sketch of yours. Maybe we should show it to some of the locals. Ah, good point. Someone might recognize them if they were around here 6 years ago. If we can identify the victim, it would help us trace who used the curse. I guess we can't just leave things now that we know there's a curse involved. Honestly, I'd rather not deal with it. There you go again. Are you sure that's something you should be saying out loud? Obviously not. I just want to get this over with and go home, that's all. Yes, I know. We all know how much you love your home. You can see the sea from here all the way to Kamishima. Do you sense anything out there, Soto? Yes, I do. The waters south of Kamishima are saturated with the powerful presence of the curse of the raging waves. I can sense it even from this distance. That's how strong it is. Is that so? Looking out to sea, I can't see a thing. Was a curse what caused that incident 5 years ago? I just hope this means we've made it in time. Even during the disaster 5 years ago, the energy was never this overwhelming. The seal has broken. There's no doubt about that. Oh no, I hope our boys end up okay. Nope, that's not the button I wanted. Yuza and Izami, because they're going to that area, and if there's a curse. The sea still seems calm, though. Does the storm not break out immediately? Yes. Something seems to be holding it back for now. Oh, so there is a silver lining at least. It seems stable for the moment. We probably have 2 or 3 days of safety. Then we have a bit of breathing room. Perhaps there is still something we can do. Curse of the Raging Waves. A curse that causes an outbreak of turbulent waves and violent storms in the seas around Kamishima. It is said that the curse was born by the resentment of the former residents of Taishima, an island once located to the south of Kamishima, after someone brought about its destruction. Some believe that several of the disasters that have struck Kamishima in the past were actually caused by this curse in some manner, including the Kamishima South Sea disaster that occurred 5 years ago. The person accused of bringing the curse with Kamishima was called the Raging Waves Curse Bearer and was shunned by the island's inhabitants. I hope we can do something about the curse of the Raging Waves while it's still being held back. Yes, but despite all the efforts, we still haven't found a way to lift the curse. We might have quite a struggle ahead of us. That's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? And we have no idea where your ancestors' keepsake is either. I apologize on behalf of my family. Ma'am, behind you. Behind me? Oh, that's that woman. Who's that? Just someone from town passing by. Ah, she bolted. Soto, after her. On it. Hey, stop. Let me go. I didn't do nothing wrong. I've apprehended the suspect. No, that's a different person. Good work. Sorry for the rough handling. Mind helping us out a bit? What were you doing here? Why did you run? What? Don't get smart with me. You're the suspicious one, sneaking out and poking into things. You think folks won't be wary of the shady types like you wandering through town? Ah, I see. Sorry if we gave you a scare. We're with the police. Nothing shady here. You're with the police? Seriously? You heard about the skeletal remains found nearby, yes? That's what we were looking into. You don't look like the police. Say, do you live around here? There's something I'd like to take a quick... there is something I'd like you to take a quick look at. Do you recognize this face at all? We believe he may have been around here 6 years ago. Huh? No, don't know him. I see. Then, could you point us in the direction of someone who might know about the people coming and going from town? No idea. Ask whoever you want. Can I go now? I've got nothing to do with this. I don't know a thing. Alright, sorry for holding you up. What a peculiar woman. It was like her mind was somewhere else entirely. Well, either way, we should talk to more people in town. Agreed. Also, could you ask around and find out who that woman is? Of course. Several hours later. Ma'am, I've learned a few things. Excellent, let's hear it. The port and town center are down that way, so this area is technically the outskirts. It's a quiet town, so a stranger loitering here would definitely attract attention. That's a good point. He didn't so much as flinch at the thought of tedious door-to-door investigations. Not to mention he's good at it. Having him here is a huge help. I showed the sketch of the victim to several townsfolk. However, it seems that no one here recognized him at all. Unfortunate. I suppose chances are he wasn't from this area to begin with. Guess we'll have to place our hopes on Detective Ide then. You don't suppose we might be working with a bad sketch here? You needn't worry about that. I'm confident in the likeness. It should be a near-perfect match. You're right. I'm sure it's close. Sorry for doubting you. I also asked about the woman we encountered earlier. Apparently, she isn't originally from this town. Oh, is that so? Indeed, apparently she wandered into town about 5 years ago. She's been living alone in a cheap rental apartment on the outskirts of town ever since. Wait, then that might be her. When she first arrived, she had nothing but an old wooden box, which she was clutching as if it were very dear to her. Nothing but an old wooden box. Supposedly, she used to work as an ama diver. Around where she first moved here, she'd occasionally go diving for fish. But these days, she keeps to herself, and no one ever sees her diving anymore. No one really knows how she supports herself, and many of the islanders find her unsettling. Perhaps she fled from something and moved her life here. That was suggested, yes, but she's never spoken about her past, so no one knows for sure. Although, according to her landlord, she's never been late on rent. She's never caused any problems either. Still, seems odd she would get so worked up about strangers coming into town. Doesn't seem like she's in any position to be worrying about that. You think she might be hiding something? It's possible. Her attitude changed the moment we said we were with the police. Perhaps she's keeping watch over the coast where the bodies were dumped, waiting to see if someone showed up. Right, I mean the most recent body is from 6 years ago, and she arrived in town 5 years back. The timing is rather suspicious when you look at it like that. We'd best keep an eye on her. Agreed. Were you able to get her name? Apparently her last name is Somikawa, but I can't manage to catch her first name. Somikawa? Why does that name sound so familiar? You've heard it before. I think so, but I can't quite remember where. Yeah, Mare Somikawa. There we go. Yep, it's her exactly. But I'm a woman who cast off her past long ago. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me. Not this again. Let's leave any time-consuming background checks to Detective Ide. Very well. I'll inform him. A woman living in Toba. Although she occasionally does work as an diver, it is unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba about 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box to her name and has been living there ever since. Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, it's the same last name. So this means that woman might have been marking us since we got here. It's possible. I apologize for not noticing sooner. Even a moment's lapse can expose one to a curse. I was careless, but I won't let it happen again. You can be cursed that easily? That's terrifying. What a world we live in. That concludes all the information I gathered from my inquiries. That helps a lot. Thanks. Shall I summarize our next steps? Yes, I suppose we need to do something about this. Let's see. About the unidentified skeletons. Regarding the identified skeletons, until we can identify the victims from the sketch, we'll have no other leads to move forward. I believe this is best left in Detective Ide's hands. Yes, agreed. And I think the same goes for that Somikawa woman from earlier. We'll have Detective Ide look into her. It's nice to have someone we can rely on. Agreed on that end, too. In other words, we can safely leave the skeleton case to him for now. Yes, though we should remain vigilant regarding the curse stones. About the Curse of the Raging Waves. Regarding our main objective, or the so-called Curse of the Raging Waves. Without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now. I don't suppose there's a chance you'd be able to break the curse using brute force? You're quite good at that. It's certainly an option if worse comes to worse, but I can't say I have high hopes it would work. I guess it would be more realistic to find some clues about the whereabouts of your ancestors' keepsake instead. Indeed, it is said that the item may hold the key to lifting the curse of the raging waves. But even location of the map pointing to that keepsake has unfortunately been lost to time. Although the map was said to be hidden inside the model of a mermaid mummy, one rumor said it was sold overseas during the Edo period. That doesn't sound promising. If we can't find it, I guess we're back to trying to break the curse with brute force. But to even consider that route, we need much more intel from the island. Which is why we need to head to Kamishima. And at the very least, advise the locals to evacuate. Yes, hopefully someone of influence there will believe us about the curse of the raging waves. Is something wrong? No, it's just one of the islanders I spoke to seems to be calling me over. Something may have happened. I'll go find out. Please do. Ma'am. What was it? The person who called me over shared a new piece of information. They were told to keep it a secret, but opened up since we're with the police. Go on. Earlier this morning, down by the shore, they apparently found something that resembled the corpse of a mermaid. A mermaid, really? That same person reported it to a local authority, and was immediately ordered to tell no one, not even the police. You're kidding me. The local authority then contacted an unknown individual. Soon after, someone came and secretly retrieved the mermaid corpse. That couldn't be more suspicious, could it? Exactly. They were uneasy about the whole thing, which is why they confided in me. What shall we do? Did they describe what the mermaid looked like? Yes. They said from head to the shoulders it was human, but below that, entirely fish. So it was not the classic mermaid from fairy tales, it would seem. Only the head was human. They also said that it was completely dried out, almost mummified. The face was unrecognizable. But they thought it resembled a local ama diver named Tamiko Suma. What? Apparently she went diving alone this morning, and hasn't returned. That's likely what worried the witness the most. That is troubling. Damn it, just what we needed. More things to deal with. First things first, let's deal with this mermaid story. Come on. Alright, and that's where we're gonna leave it for today. Sucks for Yuza. Sucks for Yuza. His mom is... that makes sense. That makes sense. That's definitely his mom. If she did somehow survive that disaster, that does mean... I mean, you know, if she didn't know where to go, or she has very little to her name, or anything like that, or has memory loss, like, that wouldn't be surprising. So that might explain why she never came back. She got partially turned into a fish, though, so that stinks. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I am so excited to see where this game goes. So yeah, next time we'll continue at it, and I'll see you guys then. Bye!